Hello,
All right.
everyone.
Hello. Let's just wait for a while. Let everyone join. Let everyone take their time joining. But firstly, in this 30 participant that has joined, do you have any questions from last first day course on the basic?
Yeah, if you guys have any more basic questions, do send it in the chat box.
Have you watched the video if you couldn't join the live last few days? Put things in the chat. None for you. No. All right. So far, can you explain what BE? Sure, I'll explain it in a minute. All right.
Let's give some of our friends some time to enter.
Okay, since we are waiting, I'll just explain to you BE. BE is technically putting your SL on your entry point, entry level. So for example, your entry point is 1997 and you bought, for example. So you buy and the chart went up, let's say 20 pips. You can set BE, and if you want to set BE, you put for your stop loss in the settings, you put back your level when you buy, or you can put a 1 pip or 2 pips higher. Do you understand what is BE now? Who asked? Zoom user, I don't know your name, but you understand? Oh my god, Faiz, you did not watch last week's video. Oof, you should have. At least you know some basic, but that one was not technical basic. It was just theoretical, meaning I explained about candles, I explained about BE, I explained about stop loss, I explained about multi-time frame, opening, closing candle. So it's fine. You can still watch it later if you would like. Today we are going to cover on technical analysis, basic understanding. Okay. And I think I'll give you guys some homework and assignment for you to practice, so that when we start our main 1 month course, at least you know what to do. We're just gonna wait for some more people to join. It's still early. Chat with me, ask some questions. Usually, for me, I love MetaTrader, but for Jack, he prefers both. He also uses TradingView. On computer or tablet, it's almost the same, but if it's on phone, it's a little bit different. If it's on phone, it would be a bit smaller, so you would have to zoom out and put your phone horizontally so that you get to see the bigger picture. But of course, the best would be if you have a bigger screen, so at least you could see the whole area and whatnot, all the important areas, and you'll not mislook. If you use your phone, sometimes you might mislook. Yes, Fibonacci can be used. I'll cover that also today. Fibonacci can be used actually if you know where's the strongest support and then where's the strongest resistance, and when you pull from the strongest support to the resistance, somehow all the Fibo levels would be ending up at minor support and resistance zones. So those zones can be used to enter. First, what look in market step by step? Oh, you want to see some analysis today? Okay, we'll do it. I'm just going to let some more people to join. I'm just going to wait for a bit. How do we know when market will go bullish or bearish? Okay, so let's see. I'll take. So number one, I'll be covering Fibo today. Number 2, somebody asked me how to know market trend. Okay, we'll cover that also today. Any more questions? If you have, I'm gonna put on this list, so I'll cover it. But don't go too advanced, just some basic questions, because the advanced one would be in the 1-month course, which we might start next week. Any more questions, guys? We are just gonna wait for some more people to join, because I don't know where's everyone. How to determine high risk and low risk setup? Okay, I will put determining high or low risk setup. Okay, any more questions? Bro, how long does it take to become a pro in trading gold? I would say it could take you 2-3 months or longer. If you have some efforts on thinking, because when you want to become a pro, you just have to ask questions every time to yourself. Is this a zone that bankers and big whales would buy? But you need to know some basics on your zone. If you know how to label good zones, then every time you enter your good zone, you should ask yourself, is this the zone that big whales and investor will enter? If it is the time right, or should I wait a little longer, maybe tomorrow at this zone, or today? So if you keep asking questions like this, you would definitely figure out some answers and be more accurate on the following months, because it takes time to build the understanding and accuracy. Okay, determining strong SNR zones. Jack, are you there? News website. If you want to see news, you go to forexfactory.com. That would be the news website. We're just going to wait for 5 or 10 more minutes, guys. So I'm just going to read some questions or comments or anything that you guys are writing. I'll read it and explain or talk on it. How we understand news effect to trade and take action based on it. Okay, so I cover some basic news understanding. News understanding. What else? Let's see. The best way of entry and what time frame. Okay. But the best way of entry and time frame, that would be like covered really in depth during the 1-month course, which is going to start next week. Which time frame? Best and confirmation. It's the same as the other person who asked. How do you read tips using available features in MT5? And also, how do you calculate in relation with the lot size to determine the amount you are risking and what? So fastest, it's like this. You have you watched the video last week? I did explain how do you calculate pips. So you would need to use gun line. In the objects list, you can find gun line, And when you pull this gun line, at the top left, for example, if you're using your phone, at the top left around here, there would be a number. Okay. So for example, when you pull your gun line, you pull and the number is, for example, 1,000 over here. 1,000. When it's 1,000, it means it's 100 pips. Okay. When it's 100 pips, how do you calculate how much you're going to float based on your lot size? Is that you take your lot size, you times it with your pips, and you times it with 10. For example, you enter 0.1, you times it with 100 pips, and you times it with 10. You will get $100. So you know how much you would be floating if you enter 0.1 and for this amount of pips. Do you understand? Fastest. What is the powerful setup to get an entry? Okay, post setup. How to analyze using swing type trade setup. Okay. Can you explain how you determine the size of the SN box you draw? Okay. Maybe you should avoid trading when there's news. What's the best MA 50 and other? For agent account, we're gonna learn EMA in detail on the final week of the 1 month trading course. You would learn 3 EMA and how do we use these 3 EMA together. So you would understand when the chart would have big momentum and when the chart is reaching a strong support or resistance zone using EMA only. So it'll be 12, 24, 50. Okay. Let's start in a few minutes. Any other questions, guys? Can everyone tell me if they have watched the last week's video on the basic? Because last week I covered on theoretical. I didn't cover technical. So can you say yes or no if you have watched it or not, or if you attended the live? What time is the best time to trade XAU USD? If it's during from my country time, it would be around from 1 to 3 p.m. There's gonna be one good setup, and then from 8 to 11 there's gonna be one good setup as well, and from 1 to 3 maybe a.m. So in a day there's 4 good big setups actually, but sometimes the setup there's no volume in it, but most of the time if the setup has volume, it's so easy to flip 40 pips at least for one shot entry. Yes. I attended the live, Michael. Okay, how to find best SNR, finding many SNR. Okay, so I know a lot of people are still confused on SNR, and that is why I started this basic course first before we enter the 1 month trading course, because I want some of you guys to actually have strong basic understanding. So yeah, I don't know why you guys keep asking me to explain BE. BE is this, okay? BE is when you put your SL on your entry level. For example, you bought at 1997. You bought it there. And then the chart went up 20 pips. It went up. And when it goes up 20 pips, you can set your stop loss in the settings, put back at your 1997. When you put your stop loss at 1997 again, or a few pips higher, at least when it comes back, it's called BE. Okay? You understand? That's for BE, and some of you are asking how to calculate pips. You press insert object, you put gun line, and when you put gun line, on your top left of your device, you can see a number when you pull it. If that number goes to 1,000, it means it's 100 pips. Okay, that's how you calculate pips. If you want to calculate the amount that you'll be floating for a certain amount of pips, you calculate it like this. USD is equal to lot size, which is your lot size, times by how many pips and times by 10. For example, you use a lot size of 0.1 and it flew 100 pips and you times by 10. This is just a fixed constant. You will get $100 floating. Okay. Yes, I can show guideline on application, definitely. Actually, Sarika, why not later on you watch the last week's video? I explained it and I showed it how to use how to calculate it on the application, because I don't want to repeat every single week on how to explain. Okay, wait, I need to unmute Jack. Okay, I think Jack is busy. Any more questions, guys? I think you're gonna start now, if there's no more questions. So I've already mentioned and I read from you guys. You guys want to know how to use Weibo, how to know the market trend properly, how to determine is a high risk setup or low risk setup, how to determine SN strong or weak SNR zones, and some understanding on news. So I'll be covering 1 to 5, and I'll be covering some more basics. Okay, which indicator and identifies sell or buy? Usually you could know EMA would tell you the trend, or you could use the zones as well. It could tell you the trend. You could see how the chart moves, things like that. I don't use it entirely, but it's on the site for me to just see. It would be EMA. What is the lot size to use in $200 account? It would be from, if a $200 account, maybe you can aim around 0.05 to 0.2. Maximum at one point, you can only open no, actually, to be better, maximum 0.1. Okay, but if you're a bit confident on your setup, you can increase it to at least 0.2, but you just have to be so confident in it. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna miss the class because of the course I have now in school. Okay, Mark, I hope, yeah, download it later and see it, because today I'm gonna cover on this this list based on you guys' questions just now, and I'm gonna cover some other important basics. Okay, so I think let's just start. So firstly, Fibo. What is Fibo? Fibo would be called as the perfect number. And the most perfect number, it would be 61.8. Okay. So when you pull Fibo, this is how you pull it. For example, the chart is like this. Okay. So now we know that the chart was from around here, which it couldn't go lower, and it reached a resistance of here. Correct? So we know that the support down there is very strong and the resistance up here also is very strong. So when you know this, these two levels, when you pull Fibo, you pull it from, if you want to look for a uptrend, if you think this would be an uptrend, you make sure that your Fibo level is from 0 on here and 100 here when you pull it. because it's called retracement, and we want to, at least if it could reach 61.8, it would be a perfect retracement. So it means when it falls and it reach maybe around here 61.8, supposedly it would fly back. Okay, either it break back this resistance or it doesn't. If it breaks, it will go far. Okay, so far are you guys following Fibo? I'll show it on the chart in a bit. I'm just explaining it simply before we use it in the charts. Okay. Why is it that the signal buy most times fail into SL? For this week, we, even though it's at a good buy zone, for example, a good buy zone, there's so many factors that are affecting the chart's movement. So even though it's a good buy zone and looks good to buy, the momentum that Putin has caused, it disrupts the whole market. Even though it's at a strong buy zone, suddenly it falls like hell, because right now this week it's a little bit unstable. Rip Gold, it's so possible. Technically, you have to tell Jack, because this week, since it's so rough, we don't want to hit SL too often. That's why they put it, Jack put it at 550 pips. But the most important thing, Rip Gold, is after this session and after the 1 month session, you would know where to put your SL. So you don't really need to follow where we put our SL. You can put at 20 to 30 pips. But you got to focus on the lessons, put your efforts in, complete your assignments and homework, so that you could actually achieve easily a good, perfect understanding that could make your SL at least 20 to 30 pips. Okay? Okay, so for Fibo, number 1, steps, how to use Fibo, okay? Number 1, label your strong, support, and resistance. Number 2, know the trend. If the trend is buy and you think it's going to go up higher, you need to make sure your level of Fibo is 0 on top, 100 at bottom. If it's a sell and you're looking for a sell, 100 at top, 0 at bottom. Okay, this is the Fibo level. I'll show you later what I mean by 100 and 0. So number 3, try to reach the level of 50 to 61.8 to buy or sell. Okay, if the trend you are looking for is the buy, when it is retracing down, and it reaches 61.8, and you wait a little and make sure that the chart M1 and M5 looks like a buy, then you enter buy. So it should probably go back up to 0. So if it goes back up to 0, at least it would be definitely a nice movement if you could enter from 50 to 61.8. Okay, because 61.8 is the perfect Fibo number. So that is for Fibo. So number 2, let's see. Market trend. How do we know market trend? So to know market trend, firstly, we need to know 2 important things. Firstly, the trend. The trend of the chart, depending on the movement, which is you could see from trend line, from the past big time frame candles. Is it bullish or is it bearish? Okay, and number 2, would be, you could see zones. Has it reached a strong buy zone, for example? If it has reached a buy zone and it flew up, we know that the trend might be a buy. If it comes back down to the same spot, it could still be a buy. Okay. So market trend, I would say 2. So how to see the trend? So for example, the chart moves like this. Okay. So firstly, we need to see that, okay, from here to here, the chart went up, correct? This is the line, it goes up. And then it went down. When it went down, it was almost at the place it went up. And over here, it went up. Okay? So when it went up over here, and it broke this resistance, we know that, okay, if it breaks a resistance, there might be a chance of a higher resistance. So it fell from here. When it fell from here, it fell half. Okay, it fell half of the distance between here and here. It fell half, and it's at the resistance before. So sometimes resistance can become support as long as it doesn't break back. So if the chart goes up here and then it goes back down, if it doesn't break back the resistance level, it will become a support. Then it flies. Then we know that there's another resistance here. If it cannot break, it will fall. And when it falls, it cannot break here back because this is a support. When this is a support, if it goes and respect the support and breaks the resistance, it will fly. Okay, this is how you know the trend. So we need to, number one, the steps would be identify your support and resistance. Number two, it would be labeling. I wouldn't say label, I would say knowing zones that it shouldn't break, because we need to know that the zones cannot break is because if we are, for example, looking for a buy and it flew, okay, it flew, we know that it cannot break a certain level for it to become a buy again. Okay, for example, like this. Like this. Let me... Okay, like this. So from here, it flew here. So we know that firstly, there's a support down here. There's a resistance up here. And then when it touched the support, it fly and break the resistance. When it broke the resistance, we know that there might be a potential uptrend. But where's the next higher resistance? Okay, we don't know yet. But the one we know is that if it falls back down, it cannot break back the resistance because this resistance has caused the fall. For example, it fell from here to here because of this level. So if it comes back to the same level, if it doesn't fall, it will become support. So it's called resistance becomes support. Okay, RBS, resistance becomes support. So if it doesn't break the support here, it flies back up. The only thing that prevents it from going higher is the latest resistance. If it comes back down to the support, it doesn't break the support, it breaks the resistance, it will create a higher resistance. Okay, so number one, identify support and resistance, which is here and here. Then it respect the support, broke the resistance, we know that there might be a potential uptrend. Then it comes back down, and then the resistance level cannot be broken again. If it breaks down, it will definitely fall. So if it doesn't broken, we know that, okay, it will be playing from here, ranging. from this level to this level, ranging until it breaks the support here or the resistance here. If it breaks the resistance, it will fly high. Okay, so number 2, knowing zones that it shouldn't break. And number 3, I would say waiting for M1 and M5 setups. Okay. Let me read the comments for a while. Which time frame do you use Fibo? Okay, Fibo maybe you could use in daily or in H4 would be nice, because that is strong zones. If you use it in M5, it could be minor zones in H4. So we want to make sure all our zones are in major zones, not minor. Then after you already label your major zones from the Fibo, you can draw smaller Fibos at lower time frame. But bigger time frame Fibo would be nicer. Let me read the comments. Why not use real chart? Yeah. Before I use real chart, I want to explain and write down, because I have to explain the steps here. Okay. Because when I explain the step, at least you guys can understand the flow of it. If I go straight to the chart, you guys cannot write down in your notebook all this. Okay, I want you guys to actually have some notes in it. Okay, that's why I'm using the notes here first, so you guys can write notes. How really breakout ticks? Okay, breakout, let me explain it later. Daily support zone withdraw, but we trade in M15 H1. Yeah, then the daily support or H4 zones is the large area in a small time frame. Okay, usually yes, you would label H4 daily zones that are very strong, and if there is support and resistance at lower time frame in M5 at the same level, it means that it is aligned with the big time frame. For example, big time frame is at a big support. Small time frame is also showing a lot of support in that zone. So it means that it's aligned. What is not nice is when it's not aligned. For example, in bigger time frame, it's at a strong resistance, so it could fall down. But in M5, it's at a strong support. So that is how sometimes fake out happens. Because, for example, people in bigger time frame, oh, they are looking for a sell. But smaller time frame shows that if we cannot break this minor buy support zone, it could still fly. Okay, so that is when breakout happen. Is when the charts are not aligned between the big time frame and the small time frame. What you are showing us now, it is based on higher time frame? No, it's for everything. I'm explaining the understanding, but can be used in all the time frame. But of course, if you just started trading, you focus more on bigger time frame, because I don't want you to get confused. But after a while, you should always improve yourself and make sure you use more time frames. Okay. Please clarify on when to place trade. Is it possible to digest the whole concept of trading for 1 month? Yes, it is, love. So it is very possible to digest the whole concept of trading for 1 month, but you need to put your own effort. It doesn't take one to tango. It needs to be 2 person. So even though I'm putting and sharing so much knowledge, you would need to actually put it into use, all the knowledge given, and practice. That's why I want to give some assignments and homework, so that at least you know what you need to practice on, and it would help you understand a little bit further and further until you would be at a good level. Do you use chart pattern on your analysis as well, Joe? Or just as enough? Chart pattern, throughout the years, somehow I learned my own patterns. Okay, I can just show you later or during the 1 month training. There are patterns like this. For example, the chart goes like this. Okay, fly really high up, and then it started to fall down slow. Go up, for example, maybe then it falls back down. Okay, we know that the chart from down here, it went to up here because of which level? I would say this level, right? So somehow, somewhere in the future, when it comes back down to this level, if it doesn't break this point here, it will definitely go back up. So these are also called, this could be called a pattern. Sometimes it's called double bottom. So for example, this one has happened, this one has happened. So next time it comes back, people buy. So it will be a triple bottom. But people are just following the chart. It's better to understand. So I understand from here is a very strong buy zone because it has caused the chart to go up from here until here. Okay, until this level, really high. So when this happens, we know that at this level, there was a big buyer that caused the whole thing to go up. So when it comes back to the level, it's so easy for it to go back up, as long as it doesn't break here. So this is where 20 pips or 30 pips comes from, that it cannot break. Could even be reduced to 5 pips if the M1 itself is so accurate. Sometimes it is, but this week it's not really. I think Jack just joined. I'm gonna unmute Jack. Wait guys. I'm finding for Jack. I thought I saw Jack just now, because Jack is pretty busy right now. That's why. So, where was I? Yeah. So sometimes chart pattern is just for you to easily enter. But if you actually understand the zones and the levels, it would be more beneficial. It's because the levels, price level, for example, and the timing is the most crucial thing that creates the chart pattern. So for example, this buy created one strong support, and then the second one created a strong one. So the third one, people enter based on what? Based on the double bottom, for example. Okay, so we have covered Fibo. I'm just going to show it later. Shayo, can you stop drawing on the chart on the whiteboard? Can you stop drawing on the whiteboard? So we have covered Fibo, market trend, high risk or low risk setup. It's somehow related to what I just explained just now, which is over here. So how do you know it's a high risk or low risk setup? Is that, for example, if you reach over here, we know that it's a strong buy zone, correct? But is it a low risk or high risk? Low risk or high risk? For us to know it's low risk or high risk, it would mean that, for example, there is a maximum level to it. Let's say 10 pips, 20 pips away. As long as it doesn't reach this 20 pips, for example, it becomes low risk. But if it breaks this 20 pip level and you hold your position, even though you enter, it becomes a high risk setup. Because a place that has caused the buy to happen really far away, this place can shift into sell. If it does, it will fall really far down. Okay? So that is why it's important to actually know where it cannot break, which I explained when I explained Fibo. When I explain Fibo, I think. Yeah, that's why it's important for you to know your zones. For example, 61.50 and 61.8, because there are zones where it cannot break. Sometimes it's hard for you to know which zones, but using Fibo, somehow it shows us where all the strong zones are at. So okay, let's move on to the next thing in the list. Okay, so how to determine strong SNR zones. Okay, let's continue. Let me read the chat for a while. Yeah, after this, I'm going to do at live chat. I'm just explaining it first. When I open the live chat, there is so many support resistance. So which one do I pick? Okay. So since we are talking about support resistance, it would be like this. So when the chart moves down and up, let's say like this. Okay. So how do we know where is a good support and resistance? So for example, I would label in my head where's the lowest point, the average. The average would be here. Okay. Let me explain first. I'm just going to label a few first. So there is support and resistance here, correct? 1, 2, and then there is resistance here, number 3, and then there is a support here, number 4. There is support here, number 5. There is small resistance here, number 6. There's a resistance here, number 7. Then there's a support around here, number 8. Okay, how do we know which one is a good support and resistance? And how do we know which one that we should look out for? Because there's too many. For example, like this example here, there's a lot. So firstly, we need to make sure that we know we are in the right time frame, because the one that I drew could be in M, let's say M15 or M30. This one could be the look of M15 or M30. But for example, when I open H4, we could see the chart like this. For example, it was from here, go up, then it go down, go up like this. So for example, in H4, the blue line, we know that there's 1 here, 2 here, and 1 here. Correct? There's a few. But when you open smaller time frame, there's so many. So what we want is that, let me delete it back. What we want is to make sure we are labeling our zones based on H4 and daily first. So if it was M30, we know that the highest point would be here, the lowest point would be here, correct? And we know that this has caused the chart to fall really far down. From here, it fell from until here, correct? So when it comes back up, we know that this level is a strong resistance zone, okay? If it respects here and it falls, we know that there's a strong one here as well, a minor one. If it breaks here, it will definitely go to the strongest one. Okay, so I'm just going to show on the chart. Let me show it on the chart. Let me show it on the charts. Okay. Let me read some comments first. Emotion cannot be taught. You need to trust. Okay, setup. Yep, I agree. So you must create zone for M15, M30. Yeah. So let me show you. Okay. For example, this would be goal, and this was my analysis from the last first basic course, correct? So last week I labeled this, specifically these zones. Okay, so we know that there was a strong support resistance here, strong support here, and then look at this minor support resistance. When it couldn't break this support, it flew from here, and then it was here until it broke exactly on my lines. So how do we know all these lines and everything? The lines comes from smaller time frame, even though the zones comes from big time frame, but the lines we try to focus it on smaller time frame, so we know exactly where it cannot break. For example, M5, it couldn't break this zone. If you could see, we know that it flew from here because it flew from down here. Actually, it touched a very strong support and it flew high, correct? So when it flew high, then when it comes back down, it couldn't break this level. And at this level, there is this support here, correct? That caused the fly. And it respect the support. So we know that this level is very strong. If it cannot break, it will fly. So let's try to label some charts. Okay. Okay. So let me read the comments first. Is everybody following? Can you say yes if you are following? Or before I go further? Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay. So, firstly, we want to open, let's say, since this is basic, I don't want to confuse you too much. Let's just focus on daily and H4 first. Everyone agree or disagree? Comment. Because I want to make sure that, because I'm scared that there are people here that just started, so I don't want to confuse them with monthly and weekly and M30, M5. So let's just keep it to H4 and daily first. And then during the 1 month course, the first week is the most important lesson I'm going to teach, which is multi-time frame. So when I'm teaching multi-time frame, if you could master it in the first or second week, anything after that becomes so easy. Okay, because the most hardest thing I would say in analyzing the charts is multi-time frame. Some people get confused, but if you cannot get confused from multi-time frame, everything becomes easy for you to understand and play around the charts. It becomes easy. So multi-time frame is a goal for you to have and understand. So let's see. So firstly, let's open daily. Okay, this is daily. Okay, when we see daily, let's just take a big look first. Okay, because I don't want to assume, oh, this is a downtrend. No, because if we look from afar, what does it look like? Don't you see a strong support here? This is the bounce, it broke, it fell, and then it flew back up, it broke, it fell, and then it broke back up, it comes back a few times over here, and it fly, correct? So we know that over here it fell down, but it immediately go up in one candle. So right now we know that there could be a chance that it could continue to buy, okay, or it can continue to fall. It's going to decide in this level. So we know that, okay, this is our first support level, and let's just now see in H4, because if you see in daily, there's not much info, because the chart has not reached this level in the most recent time. It was there far long ago. Okay, so it broke and it immediately fly back up. So now it's in the zone here. Let me just label this. Let me label this exactly where the U-turn. I think U-turn from here, correct? So we know that right now it's touching this zone. If it cannot break this zone, it will continue up. So let's try also to pull Fibo. But okay, Fibo, there's two ways to pull it. For example, if I'm looking for the sell, let's find my Fibo. You use Fibonacci retracement, that one. So for example, if I'm looking for a sell, I press Fibo retracement, then I press over here. You see 100 is on top. So I pull until 0 down here. This if we are looking for a sell. Okay, let me show you the whiteboard just now. Okay. Oh no, the whiteboard we drew disappeared. So okay, let's just continue the chart again. Okay. So when we see the charts right now, like I said, if you were looking for a sell, the 100 would be on top and the 0 would be on the bottom. Okay, why? Because we want to sell. If we are looking for a sell, we want to sell again at this level, 50 to 61.8. Okay, so it needs to go back up. Okay, so now we know, see, at level 23.6, it rejected. Okay, so right now we know that if it wants to fly back up to 61.8 or 38.2, it needs to break 23.6. So this is one way to label Fibo for you to know the trend. You know that the most recent trend is downtrend. But after the downtrend, of course, a chart would need some retracement, correct? So this is looking for a retracement. So this entry is retracement entry. It's not following the trend. So the current trend is down right now. It's a sell. But the buy trend hasn't happened yet. It could happen like this. It could break 23.6, go to 38.2, then it comes back to 23.6, then it fly. Why? Because at 23.6, there is the support here. If you see over here, correct? At 38.2, do you see 38.2? There's a support here also, somewhere around here. Why is it not exactly accurate? Because sometimes we are just using a big time frame. That's why. See, the nicest one is around 61.8. Okay, so let's just ignore that for a while. So, but okay, I know that the chart could come to 38.2 or 50 or 61.8. Okay, it could. So how do I know where to enter buy? So now I would open H4. When I open H4, there's not much details, only over here. Okay, let's just see. Okay, if I were to put Fibo in H4, it could look like this. From 100 at the bottom, 0 on top. You see? This is called small time frame. It's not small time frame, but it's opposite the bigger one. The bigger one is we are looking for a sell, and we are looking that it would come back to 61.8 or 50 or 38.2 for us to sell again around here. But definitely 61.8 is a nice one. You could see the drop happened from here. Do you see? This candle caused a big drop and it continued down here. So for us to sell again, of course, it would be 61.8, the nicest one. But since the chart did not fall further, it has reached a strong support down here. It's flying. When it flies, it has a chance to come to 23.6, but it U-turn. So when it U-turn, it gonna probably retrace back down. So when we want to see where it retraces back down, we can pull a smaller Fibo and see. If it comes to this level, You see it's quite at a support technically over here. Almost here. The chart fell from here to here, and then it started to fall again from this level, the box. And then it touched as a resistance here, fell down. Then it flew. So technically there's a support here, one time, resistance, it broke. So this zone could be a support again, 61.8. So if it respects 50 to 61.8, it will fly back up to 23.6. Okay, so if it breaks this level, it will go to 38.2 at a resistance. And the fall happened at 61.8. Okay, this is explaining Fibo. Let me read the comments for a while. I might be too fast or I might be too slow. Which one am I? Okay. How do you do that now? Okay, wait, let me see. Rachel, I explained so well. Please analyze showing gold trade. Okay, we will analyze gold after this. Before I analyze, at least I want to give some information on how to see the zones and how to see the Fibo. So at least you can implement when you're analyzing. Oh, you're a master of teaching, Joe. Please, how do you bring in those lines? Those lines are from Fibo. It's automatic. Can't find it. Okay, go slow on the Fibo. Okay. Let's talk about Fibo again. So, because right now I'm explaining two time frame Fibo. One is the bigger time frame of the fall, and then one is a Fibo that is looking for the buy for the retracement of the bigger Fibo. So that's why I'm drawing two Fibo. Usually you can just draw one. It's fine. Okay, but let's just see. Let's see. Okay, since this H4 is pretty empty, okay, do you agree it's pretty empty? Like over here, we have no information of a support or resistance. Correct? It's pretty empty. You see how far? It's very far. So it's pretty empty. So usually, if the chart is so empty, sometimes we need to change to a smaller time frame. For example, let's go to M30. So we can see the levels. Okay, now you can see. Correct? Now we can definitely see where's the support. Let me label M30 as purple. So, okay, we can see it's a strong support down here. Number one. And then there's a resistance here, correct? So it was ranging there. It was just ranging the whole time, up, down, and it broke the support, the resistance, sorry. When it broke the resistance, it flew straight up to 23.6 in daily. And then it fell down. So when it fell down, we know that, let's see, at 50 to 61.8, is there a support? See, there is somehow over here. Let me label the M30 ones. The M31 is around here. Yeah. So technically it's at 50 over here, but it's reaching to 61.8 as well. So based on our purple zone, if it comes back down here, there's a chance for it to retrace back up for the daily retracement to reach 38.2. But even though if it comes back up, it needs to break the 23.6 in the daily. Okay, let me start again. Okay. Let me explain Fibo one more time. Okay, I'm just going to leave this chart here so later we can see what happens if it touches down there. Let's pick NZD. Oh, this is NZD. Let's pick GU. Okay, so let's open daily first. We zoom out, bigger picture. Let me read the comment for a while. What EMA are you using? EMA will be covered in the trading costs, 1 month trading costs. Because even if I tell you, it's very hard to understand if you don't understand what you are looking for in EMA. Yeah, JP, you click add objects. When you click add objects, you can find Fibonacci. If you are looking for a buy, you can drag from down to up. As long as if you're looking for a buy, the 100 has to be down. The 0 has to be up. Okay. So let's open daily. When we are seeing in daily, zoom out and see where is it at. It's at here. The current price is over here. And it rejected over here a little bit. So why did it reject? Okay, it rejected because there is some support here, but I wouldn't say it's a very strong one, but it did reject. And at this level here, from this level, it flew really high up. So there's a chance that it's going to retrace back up, okay, even though it's a sell. So let's just do the same thing. Let's see where are the zones, because sometimes you don't know where to pick zones, right? So I'm just teaching you right now how to label. If I were to label the strong sell zone is here, I can just see it. But some of you want an easier way. So easier way, sometimes you can use Fibo, but you have to double check. If you use Fibo, make sure your 100 is on top, 0 bottom. Because why? Because right now it's a downtrend, correct? This is daily chart. It fell, and now it reached a support here. And then it bounced up. So when it bounced up, how far can it bounce up? We don't know yet. But we know the Fibo level is here. 23.6, 38.2, 50, 61.8. Okay. So it's going to retrace to one of them. But how high they're going to retrace, it depends. If it can break this level easily, it will come to 38.2. Probably it will come to 50. As long as it can fly from here. 23.6. You know why? Do you realize when I label these zones, it ends up at very strong zones? See? Over here at 23.6, there is a support here, correct? A support here, a support here. If it breaks the support here, it falls. If it breaks back the level here, it flies, correct? And then it falls here because it broke. And when it was from down and going up, it couldn't break, so it fall. When it break here, it fly. Then it comes back, it fly. Okay, so we know that even though for it to come to 50, the strongest sell zone over here, because it fell from here really far away. So for it to reach 50, it needs to break 23.6, because we know if it breaks 23.6, it can easily fly, because a lot of times it has shown us it fly. So for now, it might come to 23.6, but we don't know if it's going to break or not. So we know that there is a potential buy short term. So when we know short term buy, we see H4. Where do we buy, for example? Okay, so we can pull another Fibo now. 100 at bottom, 0 on top. Okay, because this is a buy. Because we are looking for a buy for it to reach 23.6 in the daily candle. This one is H41. Okay. Before I continue further, let me read some comments. Do you guys understand? Because I'm trying to make you guys understand the bigger time frame Fibo and the levels and the direction in smaller time frame that it could reach that level. Okay. We can use Fibo M5 and M1. Can still. Yeah. JP, the Fibo that I use in daily and H4 is just to know where are the big zones at. Because do you realize, for example, if we label the zones in daily, if you see in H4, do you see that all the lines that I label in daily is important lines? See, it dropped really far away from the line here. it dropped really far away from the line here. And then it couldn't break the line. So there's something about these lines. But of course, why is it not accurate? Like why cannot it be a little bit down? Because we label it in daily, not H4. If we label it in H4, it becomes different. Because if we label in H4, it would be like probably like this. Okay. When it's like this, it's at different level. So what is important is after we know that it might go higher, we can start labeling our zones. We know that, okay, this is a strong support zone. Since we are looking for a buy, we are focusing on support zones. So if it already broke this level, so it touched this strong support zone, it flew straight away, and then it started to fall and it fly back up. So we know that another strong support zone could be around here, as long as it doesn't break again. You see? Because if it breaks this level, it will fall. Because over here, it fell when it broke. When it comes back up, it fell over here when it broke. This one, it did not broke, it fly. So we know that over here, it can still fly to the highest resistance, which is here. So the most important thing is that when we are using Fibo, we could actually know where is the line that are important. So we know that over here, 61.8 has the strongest one. 50 could be a minor one. So when you're using Fibo, you only focus on 50 and 61.8. So after we know these two zones, what do? I'm trying to answer JP, because JP say, how can we use for M1 and M5? So once I already labeled my buying zone, which is the blue 2 box, I can delete my Fibo now. Okay, now I can delete it. So I know that these two places are important. So for example, I open M5. When I open M5, it's too small to label Fibo, right? So I do it in M30. So in M30, let us pick from the most recent fly, which is from this support down here, which causes the fly after this, and there's a support here also. Fly until here. So let us pull another Fibo. And let us adjust, because do you see our 61.8? It didn't U-turn at 61.8. So let's just adjust this Fibo, make it U-turn at 61.8. Okay, when I pull at the width down here, it U-turn at 61.8, correct? Now it broke 50, it almost break 38.2, so it's going up. But we know that the strongest resistance is at over here, correct? 23.6. Okay. So now we are relabeled our zones. Let me change the color for this one, because this one is the only barrier for it to break. Okay. So now our 61.8 was here. Okay. Let me not delete the Fibo just now. Let's label it again. Okay. So as you can see, when it fell, reached 61.8, it flew straight away. When it flew straight away, it's going to 23.6. And when it goes to 23.6, it has gonna reach a strong resistance. So if it cannot break 23.6, it will fall back down. So there might still be a second chance to re-enter over here. But our risk is only from here. If, for example, we enter here, don't hold it too long. No need to hold it too long. You can just cut it here. Probably how many? Probably like 5-10 pips only. And if it breaks this one, then we just consider to enter buy down here. You know, at least we save this amount of pips, like 40 pips, 30 pips. So we cut at 10 pips, then we enter again down here. And when we enter again down here, our cut loss is just 5 or 10 pips. Again, So technically the total SL is just 20. Even though we failed one time, minus 10. Then if failed the second time, minus 10. So it's just 20. But if it works, it could fly to our daily zone just now. Where was it? Let me see. Our daily zone is 23.6. Is up there. Wait, this thing keeps going up. So our daily zone is at wait. All the drawings are so small. So okay, our daily zone is up here. Let me see how many pips. It is 350 pips. So for a 10 pips cut loss, even though you entry twice, if this one work, it can go 300 pips. But we can even TP at here before the resistance here. So around here in the middle. So it's already 100 pips, 170 pips. So that is called low risk setup. Just for 10 pips risk, you are looking for a 350 potential, 350 potential pips. But we don't take the maximum. We try to take less. So half of that is 150. Any questions? Or do you guys understand Fibo now? How many pips should our box size when we are applying the zone? Okay. Your box size should be very, very precise and it should make sense. We don't want our zone to be, for example, 100 pips. So imagine you are trading, let's say, imagine you are trading and you label a buy zone. For example, you label over here your buy. So your buy zone, you label it's 100 pips. Does it make sense? Is it applicable when you trade? So imagine you start to buy from here. If it comes to your buy zone also, it's 60 pips away, you still can buy. So it doesn't make sense. It's not very applicable. So I would say if you were to actually make your zone, the proper size should be at least 20 pips, the zone. The zone could be 20 pips. So at least even if you buy early, for example, it could be 20 pips from here to here. If imagine if you buy early, you're just floating 20 pips. And when it breaks this level, you just cut. That's why sometimes it's good for you to know the zones where it cannot break. If it cannot break, like the Fibo just now, I labeled C21.8, it cannot break there. If it breaks there, we cut. That's why I say just 10 pips. And then we wait for the second one, which is at 0. If it breaks 10 pips, okay, cut. So technically 20 pips. The zone shouldn't be so big. Because if it works, it can work far. We don't want our zones to be so big that if we enter, and then it fell, and then it works, we already lost, we already cut. No, we want to cut before it falls too many pips. Let me read some. Okay, so let me show you how to label boxes. Okay. Let's say this one. This is the zone that I'm looking for, correct? But after I look at smaller time frame, I would make it smaller zone. So technically, the purple box is just to label. So let's say I open M30. When I open M30, I know, okay, I'm going to put a line. Where did it start to fly from? Technically over here. Okay, this is a strong support, correct? From here. He started to fly from here, but the next candle broke really far down, really fast, and then it started to fly. So technically, the opening here is so strong that caused the chart to go up. So I labeled one line over here. Let me change the color. Okay. Then I know that it cannot break this level. correct? So because if it breaks this level, see, if it breaks this level, it will fall. And this one, see, you can see the width, resistance, resistance. So when it break back this one, it support here. So we know that the two zones here are deciding zones. If it cannot break, say, it flies. Cannot break, flies. Cannot break, flies. Cannot break, flies. But if it breaks over here, it falls. So the zones then can be reduced to the two lines. And when we see the size, let's check the size. It is 12 pips. Okay, can you see? So for example, if it's 12 pips, I know that I can still put my cut loss at over here, for example. Do you understand? So it means if I enter from there, my cut loss, stop loss would be 20 pips. Okay, and it would have been strong because you see, it didn't reach the orange one, 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 didn't, and just this one, probably just one shot M1 just fell like crazy and then it fly back up. So this is just anomaly. It's just so random. It's not consistent. But the most consistent thing is here, 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 here. Okay. So this is how you label. So the zones up here is not filtered out yet. So after we filter out, it looks like this. Okay, this is M30, right? So we just label M30 first, not even M5 yet. So if M30, let's say we know that, we zoom out, we know that, okay, can you see here? I was trying to look for here, like where did it start to fall? Technically it start to fall from here. But where did it start to fly back up? Here. So it's a little bit off this green line. But when I come to here, I can see, oh, it actually fell from here to here. And then when it broke this level, it fly up. When it break this level, it retests here. So technically, you see this level. So I could label somehow, I could put like around here and then pull this one a little bit more down, maybe around here. Yeah, so should be fine. So then my purple zone, I can reduce it to here. Oops. To here. That's why when I say if we enter at the purple zone here, we don't even have to cut so far down. We just cut straight away here because it couldn't break. It cannot break. If it breaks the zone, it will technically automatically fall how many pips? 40. Because the next zone is 40 pips away. So why not we cut at 10 pips and then save 30 pips and then re-enter here. Re-enter here for 10 pips. Do you understand? And this is just M30 filter. After that, we need to actually filter in M5. We go M5, we see where's the strongest spots. If you can see in M5, we know that, see, you turn from here, you turn from here, you turn from here, you turn from here. So technically, our SL, which is the orange one, is valid. For this one over here, you see, every time if it breaks this one, it fall 40 pips. Over here, it broke. It fell 40 pips. This one over here, it broke. Fell 40 pips. This one here broke. If what I mean by this one is the candle itself open on this line and it break. Open over here on this line, break down. Open on this line here, break down. But it's the same. If it opens there and fly up, it will fly up high. For example here, open here, fly really far. But it couldn't break back the buy zone. It couldn't break the resistance here. So then it broke here, open here, fell really far down. So are you guys understanding what I'm trying to say here? So now we know that if it comes back down to here, we know that it cannot break here. So if you wait until here, you just put a stop loss over here. It's still fine. Because it shouldn't break. The M5 itself, see, it's very accurate. So Let's see. Then when you switch to because I don't want to filter it in M5 too much because I don't want to get people too confused, but I'm just explaining a little bit because just now we were planning to actually just do it in daily and H4, correct? But I gave a little extra to filter it M30. Then I actually gave a little extra to M5. But the most important thing is not too detailed. It's fine. We remember, start from daily. We label our Fibo, which is the fall from here to here. Then we know that this is the level is 23.6. Remember? So for it to retrace up, it has to reach here. From here to down there, it's 350 pips. So this is a low risk setup. For a 10 pips cut loss, we are looking for a big movement. But for it to fly, it cannot fly in this candle. This candle is already red. The only thing is for it to fly nicely is tomorrow. If tomorrow the opening of the daily candle is around this purple spot, it's very nice to buy, so it can go back up nicely. Easy pips there. Easy profit. Let me read the comments. Oh my god, did not see the chart. Oh my god. I've been talking and talking. Oh my god. Oh my god. Shit. Ah. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I was so focused. Oh my god. I was so teaching so important stuff. Okay, let's just show the zones. Oh my god. Hi. Okay, guys. I crashed. When I tried to open the chart, I crashed. Okay, I'm back. So, okay, let me see the chart again. Oh my god, that was so intense, guys. I was drawing and then showing everything, explaining so detailed, and then you guys missed it. Okay, let's see. This is what I drew while we were away. I labeled the. Do you guys see? Okay, can you tell me? Do you guys see? I adjusted the green lines here, and the purple zone. I reduced it. The size of it. You missed all of that, right? Okay. Let's start a new chat. Okay, correct. Let's just start a new chat, and yeah. But just for me to explain a little on what you guys missed. Okay. So I was saying this is a low risk setup because, okay, let me just explain it very simple. So do you guys remember when we labeled our Fibo just now, we got this level as 23.6, correct? And then we open H4 and we labeled the Fibo down here, correct? To look for a buy for it to reach this retracement of 23.6. Correct? Can I check? Are you guys seeing the charts now? Are you guys seeing the charts? And then are you understanding? Yes, no, yes. Okay. Okay. Seeing it now. Okay. So when you see this area as 23.6, after it has fallen really far down, we know that this H4 can push up to 23.6 somehow. Okay. This is daily chart. From the daily chart to our zones yang already I labeled, it is how many pips away? It is 270 pips from the first one and 300 pips from the second one. And I was saying, when we open H4, we know that the first strong zone is down here. The second one is down here. So after I already labeled the purple zone, remember I opened M30 and I labeled the lines, correct? To know where did it fly from, where did it drop from, and where it cannot break. So when I open M5, for example, I know that it cannot break this line here, correct? That's why I put the line here and I adjusted my box down here. So it cannot break the line, cannot break the line. So if it does break the line, we cut it at 10 pips. Okay, this is just 10 pips. So same goes to over here. If we see that at this second line over here, it dropped really far down, dropped really far down here, drop down really far, drop down really far, drop down really far. So we know that if we were to enter here, we can just cut at 10 pips. Why not? Okay, because if it wants to go up, for example, let's just see like this. If it were to go up, it cannot break down here. So our stop loss can be 10 pips away from here. Okay, because when it break like this, it break the line, it can easily fall. So that is what I was explaining. Like this, it broke this line here, it fall far. From here to here, it's I think already 20 pips or 30. So from here, 20, 30 pips. So that's why sometimes it's better for us to cut. So the most important thing is this setup is called considered low risk because our cut loss is 10 pips, correct? Our cut loss is 10 pips away. And if it breaks, okay, we cut and then we enter again here, 10 pips away, cut. If it respects the setup, this H4 respects here, if it starts to fly again from here to our daily 23.6, which is up here, it's already, wait, where is it? It's up here. From the first zone to from the first entry zone here to the 23.6 is 300 pips for a 10 pips SL. So you guys think it's worth it? Of course it's worth it, correct? So, but of course it cannot fly today. You see this is a red candle. So for it to fly again, maybe tomorrow, if it open here or open here, there's a chance it can fly back up. If it can break the resistance here, it will fly to 23.6. Okay, so things like that we have to look out for. So okay, let me read the comments and then we will see gold. Okay. That was GBP, USD, GBP. Okay, now gold. Okay, I used 3-4 pixel because one person couldn't see. So okay, let me open gold. Okay, gold. Actually, I just opened this one and I want an empty one because this one already has my analysis in it, so I don't want to delete it. So I'm just going to open a new one. Okay. So let's see this one. Okay, this one I can delete it. It's long ago. Okay, so let's start with gold. Using let's just today focus on Fibo first, correct? Or you guys want me to see me doing zones? Because I think Fibo is quite useful technically. It will be easier for you to understand basic. Then maybe in the 1 month course, we will do zones. Because at least if you already practice yourself with Fibo, you will later on it becomes easy for you to label zones without Fibo. Okay, let's just use Fibo today. Okay, so when we use Fibo, okay, let's open daily. Remember, we are just focusing on daily and H4 Fibo first. Okay, daily. there is 2 Fibo levels we can pull. We can pull from on top here to down here, correct? Or we can pull from, okay, wait, somebody asked me to increase the visuals, pixels. Let me delete this. Because this is just extra. Don't really need it. Actually, brother, increase the pixels. It's already 2 just now. Yeah, not much difference, dude. Okay, so this is the first Fibo. Let's just pull the second Fibo. I just want to see which Fibo is more accurate on the movements. I think, yeah, the bigger Fibo is better. So what I mean by better is that, does it move, like, is it closer to the lines, to the support? See, this 38.2 is almost to the support. It's almost at the same level. And this 23.6 is at the place where it fell really far. So, and then this 50, see, you turn at the 50 here, and then 61.8. So it's not really far off. If we want to adjust it a bit to 61.8, also can, like here. Okay. Yep, here. So when we label like this, we know that now it has reached 23.6 and it's a strong sell. So it could sell back. But the problem is, this is a strong buy zone. So when this is a strong buy zone here, if it breaks 23.6, it can definitely fly to 38.2 without trouble. Okay. And today is a bullish day anyways. So it could have a push here. So let's just label our zones at here. It needs to break this zone to fly. And let's just label another zone, which is around here. Why did I pick a bigger zone here? Because later on, I want to see at H4, which one is better. Because the width and support is all down here, the opening, and the Fibo is here. I just want to make sure I cover the Fibo and I cover the opening and the widths in my zone, because I want to see it again in lower time frame. So let me just label some important stuff. We know that it opens here and it flew, and then it dropped from here, then it opened again here and it flew. So we know that it cannot break this level. Okay, so now I can delete my Fibo first. Okay, I don't need my Fibo anymore because I'm just aiming for this buy, right? For it to touch 38.2 or for it to drop from here to here, to 0 again. So let's delete first. Okay, this is the zones labeled from Fibo. So let me read first the comments and you guys understand just the zones from the Fibo. That one was daily time frame. Trendline strategy is not that accurate. I wouldn't say it's so accurate. Trendline is just to know the trend, not really for entry for me. How to put Fibo? Okay, but you guys understand first from the labeling of the Fibo just now, I put my zones. You guys understand that part? It's okay if you don't understand, as long as you know some understanding, it's okay. So later, it's easy for me to give assignments for you to practice, so it's easy. I'll use white background. Everyone wants me to use white background. I'll use it later. All right. Because if I want to switch my background now, I would need to setting and everything. It would take a while. The levels you mark are exactly. It's roughly, not exactly yet. It's just roughly where and what's the important zone, roughly. So now I already know the important ones. I know that we have reached the 23.6 Fibo here, and here is 38.2, and here the support here and the opening here is our, this is our if we were looking for a buy, this is our safe zone. It cannot break this zone. Okay, so now I turn to H4 and I see, when I see H4, it might start to drop back. Okay, it might start to drop, and H4 just open. Yeah, who wants to enter? Who wants an entry? Who wants to entry? Let me see. But this is not an official signal. This is just live signal for this special class, you know. Okay, because if you can see, it respected the H4 cell, and then now it's at the M1 drop, so it could easily drop here actually. But let's just wait and see. Yeah, I could feel like it's easy drop. Okay, you know what? Everyone try to enter, but this is not official signal, and let's not put SL or put SL or TP yet, but we're gonna see it manually. So you guys entered here. Let's just manually figure it out. Okay. So you guys entered there, right? Okay, why did I tell you guys to enter? So firstly, when I see H4, it was at a strong, in daily, it was a strong fall here, correct? So even though we sell, it cannot break back here, down here. It's gonna be tough to break back down here. But if we hold this sell, at least it could reach half. Probably like how many pips away? Let's see. Probably like 40 pips away. So 30 to 40 pips could reach easily. But lower than that, it's not really advisable because it might push back up later. Okay, so for now, it's easy for it to fall. So let's why did I give a sell? Because the daily had a very strong sell down here, up here, and it was at 23.6. It was at a Fibo level. So if it cannot break the Fibo level, it will fall back down. So, and also H4, we did not pull our Fibo yet. So in H4, it could be said like an uptrend right now, right? So when we pull our Fibo in this H4, let's just try to adjust our Fibo to a nice level. So I'm just seeing which level of Fibo do I use, this support or this wick. So I'm just seeing which Fibo gives me the best lines. What I'm trying to see is that the line that makes it fly like this. So it's close to 38.2. So it's good enough. So I think I just leave my Fibo like this. So now, if it falls, it could definitely reach 23.6 again. So if it reached 23.6, it would be 30 pips. But then I would feel like it could reach 38.2 actually. But let's just let's just discuss TP later. So that's why I sold, because it already reached daily. And one of the reasons I sold was because M1 had this fall here. So technically we can cut at 10 pips. So everyone is fine, right? If we were to cut over here, it's a small risk for me to teach you and for you to understand these two levels. It cannot break back. So the risk would be, let me see. You guys entered sell over here. Wait. You guys entered sell over here, right? What level you guys entered sell? Tell me. Yeah, it's just 5 pips away, guys. This is called low risk entry. We are minimizing our risk so much and hoping for this to happen again, this M1 fall. So technically, it cannot break back this level. This level cannot break back. So technically, let me read some comments. Yeah, I will send you this video, but I'm scared this video might be splitted into two because I disconnected just now. So I hope both of the video can be connected again. So let's see. Yeah, it's not an official signal. It's just for you to learn and for you to understand and for you to feel some emotions, you know, because if you can feel this drop, you can do it again. If you do it once, you can do it again. I just want you guys to feel it. So technically, what's important is that the fall from here is at a daily 23.6 and at a daily resistance. That's why it could easily fall 30 pips. So the only thing that has to happen is it has to fall from now. And let's say H1 is going to open soon. We see H1. Okay, H1. The only problem with H1 is that it opened here. So it has a support here. If it can break that support, it can fall far. So let's label this one like that. Okay, can you tell me what level you guys entered at? For who entered, just tell me the level, position level, so I can label it here, so I know I can see it live. Lenovo. The most important thing is, are you joining the 1 month trading course? If you are, then you can write your own ebook. From everything I learned, you can write your ebook. Okay, 1895. Everyone is at 1895. Okay, so you guys entered around here. 1895. Okay. Let us cut our stop loss manually. Okay, everyone agrees? Is everyone okay to do it manually? We might consider, I don't know yet, we might consider to cut just at 6 pips. Okay, 6 pips only. Because if it wants to fall, because why I want to cut at 6 pips? Because at 6 pips over here, okay, it's a last resistance zone, as you can see. So if it broke here, see what happened. If it broke this resistance, see what happened. Easily, it will fly how many pips? 20 pips. So why would we want to float? We don't want to float. So we want a low risk and easy setup. So that's why we have to be a bit very, very precise. Because we know from our daily zones that it could reach on top here. Correct? But we just want that sell just now. The M1 sell because it was having an M1 drop from here. And then at daily, already have a drop here. So technically, if we were labeling our maximum zone, which is here, if we see at daily, it's here. Exactly at the opening here. So if it respects this opening, it will fall half at least. So it will be like 30, 40 pips. So for a 10 pips cut loss, it's worth it. Okay. So, okay, let us put our SL 10 pips away. Everyone agree? Everyone agree? If everyone agree, I will tell you what is the 10 pip. Yeah, it's just practice and to feel the movement. So you guys enter 1895, 10 pips away would be here. Okay, let's just put 10 pips away. So you guys can put your SL at here, 1896. Sorry, just put 1897. You guys can put 1897. Okay. Just put 1897 because it cannot break that zone again. Plus M1 is opening soon, so we don't want to float anything. 1897. Or if you guys don't mind, you can put at 15 pips because there's a drop here. We don't want to hit SL too fast, right? So it might still have a pressure to fall, but sometimes it might test here. So you can move it 5 pips away, 15 pips. So it would be at 1897 point. Let's just put it 1897.17. Okay. Let's see. Your SL is here. Your entry is 1895 here. Okay. So let's see where it's gonna go. For now, it looks like it's gonna respect this buy zone here. When you respect this buy zone, definitely if it breaks this orange line we have here, it will fly. But if not, it still has a chance to U-turn because at this level, it was a resistance over here. So the resistance can still become resistance, but it also can become a support. So if it flies from here, it will fly up far. That's why I suggested 5 pips away to change it because it still can U-turn from here actually. Because right now it's 5 minutes away from H1. So even though it wants to fall, this new H1 is deciding before the new H1. So the new H1 could continue falling. But before it opened, it is retracing a little bit up. So sometimes that happens, but it's fine because we are just aiming 10-15 pips cut for a big movement, you know? Because if that had worked out, we would have gotten 40 pips, 30 pips minimum. If it goes back down here, it would be 70 pips. Anything to say? Anything to comment? Have you guys all put SL? 1897.17. This one. This number here. 1897.17. 1897.17. Let me put in chat. 1897.17. 1897.17. Okay. See guys, it did U-turn at the resistance here. So now it just cannot break back this zone. So if it starts to fall again, we can put break even and leave it be. Okay. And no need to put TP because our target is to just get break even and then let it go really, really far away from our entry point and make money. That's the best way. But if you want TP, like I said, you can TP at 20 to 30 pips away because it should reach 20 to 30 pips. See, it's falling, guys. Let's go. Let's see how far can it fall. Anything to ask, guys? Anything to ask? Okay, Daniel Han, it has become so confusing. What has become confusing? Which part? Which part? So the most important thing today we learned is Fibo. So when we pull Fibo, we know the zones. For example, when we pull Fibo, like this is Fibo. If you were looking for a buy, your 100 would be down here. Okay, at the bottom of a support, and your 0 would be at a resistance if you're looking for a buy, because 0 would need to be at the tip of your direction where you're going. If you're looking for a buy, 0 would be here on top. If you're looking for a sell, your Fibo would be looking the opposite way, like this. Okay, so what is important about Fibo is that it helps us to know where is the important zones. So when you place your Fibo, we need to remember that when placing Fibo, we pick a strong support or strong place that it flew from and the resistance, the highest point. And then we see, does all the zones from the chart, is it on the lines? The resistance and the support, is it on the 38.2, 50, 61 point? If it's not, you have to adjust a little bit and find the best one on the line. The most on line, the better. So after you find it's on the line, we can start labeling the zones on the line. Okay, we label the zone on the line, and then if you have some a bit experience in it, you can switch to M30 and then start to put horizontal line to make sure it cannot break where and when not, and where it should break. So do you guys understand Fibo? Where can we later, Jack will post it again. But the most important thing about today and the last class, have you watched the last class? If you haven't, watch it. So for you to understand some basics, not technical, theoretical. So the most important thing is this class is just to give you some preview on it, like some basic zone labeling and understanding and whatnot. The most important thing is next week. Next week, I'm going to start the 1-month course, which is the most important one because it is going to be a full course where you understand everything and everything you need to know when you want to become a good trader. Everything. So next class would be, we'll inform you. Preferably, I think weekend, I don't know, but should be next week. And the most important thing that we must know is that this thing takes time. That's why I took the opportunity to actually give some basic first, because it takes time to know basic. So before I start the advanced one, I don't want everyone to be basic. That's why I start with basic first. And do you see this one? When it opened the H1, it opened at the resistance and it straight drop, but it cannot break the blue box here. I did tell you the blue box is a buy zone from here, correct? See, because of this blue box, it flew from here to here. So now, even though it's a good sell, but it just need to break the blue box. If it can break the blue box, it will fall 30 pips. So, but after it falls 30 pips, we have two decisions, to TP or to hold. If you were to TP, yes, it will be good. But if we were to hold, it could reach the back down here, which is 70 pips away, double. And for example, if the daily decides to fall again, it even could reach back here, 300 pips away or 100 pips away, 150 pips away. If he wants to decide to come to level 50 to 61.8 Fibo. So that's why it's a choice. If you're happy, you can TP. If not, you can wait for a while. But this one, we are just waiting for it to break back the blue box. Because right now, see, 2 times. It comes here, cannot break. Comes here, cannot break. If it breaks the blue box, it will definitely be easy profit. Okay, we are just going to wait and see. And I'm going to explain again. So what you guys need to practice now, please let this be your homework. For example, this blue zone, this big one is our resistance. This one is our support. When I want to, for example, looking for a buy, I make sure my 100 is at the bottom, my 0 on top. And then after I'm done with that, I will adjust my Fibo level here to a support and resistance zone. If it always have things on this line, like this, let me show you. When I pull this cell here, Fibo, I check if all the thing touches the line. This one touches. So I need to make sure. See, this one, it fell from here. and then it fell from here, correct? See? So I want it to touch as many zones as possible. So when it comes up here, we know that it could touch one of the zones. So I want you guys to practice that first. Just practice on Fibo and your zone labeling on the Fibo line. And then see what happens when it touch this line, touch that line. So you could firstly, let me read some guys. Lenovo, it should be like 2 classes a week, I think. Roughly around there. Or could be 3, depends. Let me show you the whiteboard here. So your assignment, guys. Assignment. I hope everyone is doing it before next week. So you guys have some good understanding. So number 1, you guys open daily chart. Label Fibo on the daily movement. Okay. Then see where is it going to go. Once you know, you label the zone and then you delete the Fibo. Before you delete the Fibo, just turn to H4 and see if the Fibo makes sense. If it makes sense, you delete the Fibo. Then you do in H4 Fibo also towards the direction of the daily. Okay, so that's why just practice on this. And then after you label your Fibo, make sure you start to label your zones based on the line. And make sure you align your Fibo to a good support and resistance. If it touches that zone and fall, okay, at 32.6, good. But if it touches and fall and 32.6 is on top, just make sure that you adjust. If this is already the best one, okay. But if it's not the best one, you try to adjust to resistance, for example. Okay. Do this a lot, okay? At least, guys, every day you do 2 analysis. Okay. Do 2 analysis. Any currency of Fibo and label it and message Jack. Okay, message Jack. I want to see, guys. I want to see. Are you guys serious on this or not? I want to see. Okay, can you guys say something? I want to see what you guys say. Okay, just label, and it's for your journal. I want you to have a trading journal. So meaning, even if Jack is so busy he didn't reply, it's fine. Just for your own personal journal. And later on, you can screenshot again and see. Update. It did work. It did not work. If it did not work, why did it not work? Maybe I'll explain or Jack explain, you know? So things like that. It takes 2 to tango. So you have to put some effort in it. Okay. It still couldn't break this blue zone here. Okay. Now it's at our resistance here again. So I think if it cannot U-turn in this M1 candle here, it's going to touch. And we're just going to cut it first. It's fine. It's baby play here because we know that we were looking for a buy, but why didn't we buy? It's because it already reached a daily strong opening sell here. Okay, so and M1 had the setup. It's just that M1 had the setup over here. Like I said, it cannot break. Do you see what happens if it breaks? If you break the resistance at the opening of the resistance, it boom, bursts. You understand? Okay, now it's at this here. It will burst here. Definitely it will burst. It will burst definitely until here. That's why I say it's better to cut at 10 to 15 pips rather than holding the whole wave, you know? So it's all, I want to make sure that when you guys learn after the 1 month course, you know where to cut manually. Even if it breaks 5 pips, if you know how to cut, when to cut, you cut. You know, that's my goal, to make sure you guys know where to trade, how to trade, when to TP on or everything. Is it glitch? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, no chat again. It's just that I shared the whiteboard because I rarely use Okay. Hello, guys. Crashing. Okay. Because today I was testing this new Zoom feature where I use the. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, it did hit. Because that's why I say it's very important to make sure that you know where to put your where to cut. Like I said, if it breaks this resistance here, it will definitely fly straight away, and definitely it will fly until this drop. Definitely, if it doesn't have problems here, definitely break up and fly, because it's aiming for its 23.6. Remember, we label our Fibo 23.6 is over here. Yeah, over here. It's aiming this level. Once it reaches that level, if it wants to continue, it is gonna aim for this level around here. Yeah, it's aiming for 38.2 then. Yeah. 23.6, it has arrived. Okay, 23.6. Yep, see guys? That is why it's important to put small SL. That is my target, to make sure you guys understand where to put, where to cut. Like we discussed, we entered the M1 setup cell based on this cell zone here and this cell zone here, and this zone was at a daily. That's why we sold here, thinking it could drop. But from daily perspective, it will definitely try to reach 38.2. Okay, but it was worth it. Because why was it worth it? We entered here and our SL was just 10 pips. And if it had dropped, it could reach 70 pips. If it break the 70 pips zone, it will fall 150 pips. So that's why it's important. So everyone's okay, everyone's agreeing, everyone's seeing the chart. No need to enter anything. Just wait for the official signal. I was just wanting to make sure you guys learn that trade, but it did not happen because it couldn't break our blue support here. This one, it couldn't break. It did respect, boom, twice, 3 times, see? But this blue box support here is so strong, it couldn't break. If you were to buy also, try to aim to buy here. So you can cut loss at 5 or 10 pips for you to practice. If you were to practice, just try 0.01. Okay, you have to practice a little bit from yourself. Don't be too sad because it's knowledge. It's knowledge. You're paying for your own knowledge. 0.01 or whatever, 10 pips is just $1. If it works, you got a new knowledge there. If it doesn't work, you got a new knowledge that you know that you cannot enter that again, like something like that again. So it's all about learning. Will this video be posted? Yes, it will be posted. It will be posted. Jack will post it. I think, is there any more questions? If not, we can end it. But I think, is Jack here? Because I'm not sure if Jack is here. So, do you guys understand the lesson today? It's mostly Fibo and zone labeling. You guys had fun learning today? Can you guys enter? There's a lot of people here still, 79. Is it okay? You guys learn a lot? Yes, we did. Awesome, bro. Yeah, so as you can see, what is important is the labeling of the Fibo and the zone. For example, we can see our NU. Where has it been at? GU, sorry. We labeled GU. Whoa, GU. What's happening with GU? Where was our chart? I think it was here. Aha. Let's see what happened here. Whoa, GU is going crazy, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Let's just see. It's going crazy. I think it's a news or what right now. From here to here, how many pips did it fall? It fell almost 100 pips. And it has reached our strong support. So tempting, guys. Wait, let's just see. Because the pressure is too high on selling, so it's not advisable to buy, even though it's a strong zone. You see, in a few minutes, it dropped 100 pips in like 5 minutes. So even if we were to buy, it's a bit risky because of the pressure itself. But this is a strong zone. If it cannot break here, you will definitely go back up. Very tempting. Why did it drop really far away? So happy I didn't miss this. Thank you, Ruben. Yes, Lynn, appreciate. Thanks, Joe. Welcome, welcome. Very rich lesson today. Okay, I'm so sorry that I did not, the screen was not on at sometimes because I was opening the whiteboard, it did not go to the screen. So I was confused today about that part. So I hope you guys are gonna be there in the 1 month course because it's gonna be more valuable there, I say, because I'm not trying to be multi-time frame. You know, when I'm teaching, I only use daily H4, but I try to put in M30. I try to put in M5. I cannot go too much because I'm scared some will be confused. So that's why. Oh, there was news in GU. Because right now it's so low. It's at a daily, you see, it's at a daily opening at the wick itself. Technically, it's at the bottom, at the lowest bottom. If it breaks its bottom, oof, it could fall far. Could fall far if it breaks the bottom. But I don't think it's going to break the bottom straight away. I think it's going to retrace up. Okay, guys. Wait, let me see. Yeah, the selling pressure is so high. Because even if we were to enter this one, okay, even if we were to enter this one, if we calculate the stop loss, okay, let's just calculate. Let's just see M15 since M15 just opened. Okay, if we were to cut this thing, if we were to enter, it would be 15 pips max. Let's see. 15 pips. Yeah, I think it's around here. Nicer one is to actually put it at 18 pips. But we could actually cut it at 7 pips. But it's easier and less stressful if we just put it at 20 pips, you know. But there's no volume buy right now. It's slow in buying. Even though it's at a strong support zone, even though it's already at a strong support zone, guys, like literally. But the buyers are very weak because it should actually easily retrace up 20 pips away if it goes back in the zone. Yeah, it's too high. We should leave it. Why are you not trading other pairs? I do trade other pairs, but a lot of you guys like gold only. That's why. A lot like gold. Yes, Abdul Modric, it's free access. You just have to message Jack. I don't know if you're registered with Jack or not. If you are, then you'll be free, covered. So yeah. Okay, I think gold I better. See it, somebody like gold. So yeah, see it's respecting now. If you were to enter also for this kind of setup, for example, if you were to enter now, if we buy now, our SL would be like at this green line. And then if it breaks up a bit, we just have to put BE. That's how it's supposed to be, because these kind of zones usually have to be like it should respect really fast. It shouldn't take time. If it takes too much time, it wants to fall further. If it wants to go up, it should fly straight away. So that's why I didn't ask you to buy for this one, because the selling pressure is so high that it's having trouble going back up again. Probably the news. I don't know what news was it, but it's a big news, causing the chart to drop in 5 minutes, 100 pips. So yeah, any more questions, guys? Any more questions? So yeah, Ruben, the most important thing is the first week. I would say the first week is the most crucial week. If everyone can understand the first week, the second and third, fourth week would be easy. Because the most important thing is multi-time frame, I would say. That's the key. Let's see gold just now. Where did it go? Okay, you guys see? At a resistance place, usually these are the TP zones, like this. This is TP zones. Over here, our SL was SL zone, like here, because this is the resistance zone. If it breaks, it will fly straight away. So that's why sometimes it's good for you guys to know some knowledge. So later, when you are trading, you can actually decide what to do. So it's going to be better and less risk, when you are doing it yourself, because you can decide whatever makes you feel good. But this one, it looks like it could actually fly. Okay, guys, just now when you entered gold, what was your lot size? The ones who entered just now, what was your lot size? Yes, George. But I don't know if it's possible to mix all the, because every time I went out, disconnected, the video got cut off, and then I have to enter it, start back again. So I don't know if it's going to record all three. So you entered 0.2 Major J. Okay, wait, 0.2, 10 pips. So that was 20. Okay, because I'm waiting for this one. If it actually could have some buying pressure, it could actually, okay, maybe we can look at this level. Yeah, this level, if it breaks, then possibly it could be a buy. But is this the news? I don't know what news was this causing 100 pip drop. Because if it breaks back this blue zone, it can fly. But if it cannot break this blue zone, it's going to be a difficult time to buy. It cannot go higher. So sometimes it's better for us to not just enter buy. We wait for it to break up the blue and then buy on the way. So it's much more safer compared to buying at bottom. Sometimes buying after a breakout of a small resistance would be better. Okay, now it's going to fall. Let's see how far can it fall first. It's not falling too far. It's still at the width. Yeah, see? It's at the width. Technically, exactly at the width. It doesn't want to break. Okay. Guys. When you enter, don't enter too big. For example, Yuki, your lot size is 0.3. How much is your account size? Because I want to know what's your risk management. I just want to calculate how you guys think. So Yuki, what's your size account? So I can think how risky are you when you trade, how risky it becomes. Okay, then it's fine. That is so small. 0.3 is so small for that account size, so it's fine. So that is just like 0.03, for that account size, so it's fine. For Jehu, his account size is Okay, Mekotoni, you're okay, 0.01, yeah. So it's okay. For Jehu, he put how many lot size? I cannot find Jehu. So it's, I think for GU, it's gonna fall further. Yeah, see, it's gonna fall further. It cannot, I don't think there's buying pressure, so just gonna leave it. See, it's just gonna fall further really far right now. If you can see, it's just gonna fall far. Let's see how far can it fall. I think it just fall until this support down here, then you have some problems. Yeah, but maximum it could reach here, 161.8 down here, because it's a Fibo level. So it could reach here, half here or something. So let's see gold again, if there's anything. Yeah, gold is still at the same spot. Okay, guys, for gold, can you guys enter again the same lot sizes now? Just the same size. Enter again, because we are going to cover it back straight away. Enter it again, and let's calculate our stop loss. But enter half of it, half size. If you haven't entered, just enter half size. For Mekotoni, cannot, because there's no 0.005, you know. You have to enter 0.01. There's no half. But for others, just enter half of what you entered just now. So if you enter 0.3, just enter 0.15. Because I want to aim for these big pips instead of we aiming for small pips. Let's just try for big pips. So let's see. Let's see. Now it's okay. You know, guys, let's just try to analyze together. So I hope for the people inside here, you guys are a little bit special. So you guys can see how we think. So right now you can see it's 7:25. So 5 more minutes, M30 open. So we need to know where is M30 at. Okay. So we know M30 just closed as red just now. It dropped. So we know that the opening here, as long as it doesn't go higher than that, it will fall. But the opening down here is quite strong, so it's gonna stuck in this range. So, okay. But when we see H1, let's see H1. What did H1 do? Okay. H1 went to almost to its opening here and it dropped. Now the opening is here. So it just have to go lower than the opening. It has some pressure to push down. So let's see. Let's not put SL first. Let me see SL. Okay. Mekotoni, it's up to you. If you feel comfortable, it's fine. If not, you just see. You just learn. Learn for today, it's fine. Just learn, just learn. Not buy, Zach. Not buy. It's a sell. No, not buy. We know it's a buy, but I don't think it will be a buy today. Maybe tomorrow. Because today, it might be a rejection for a while. Then it's a continue buy tomorrow, like here. Today, it might reject. Because it's a strong sell zone here. And it has been selling. So there might be a chance to drop further, you know. And can, for example, Jehu, what's your position level? Where do you enter at? What's your position level? So I want to pick one person so I know what is their level. Okay, it's falling, but we just have to watch out at this area. This area, it has to break. Maybe when it reaches this area, we can put break even. 189.7.3. Okay, 189.7.3. 189.7.3. 189.7.3 would be here. Yeah. So around here, you guys entered. Okay. So right now, you guys are, if it reach here, you guys would be 18 pips. Okay, so okay guys, when it reach here, we put break even, okay? Everyone agree or what? Or you just want to put SL at 10 pips? Which one? It's your decision. Because sometimes it's better to put a little bit higher, so even though it come here, it touch back the BE, then it fall, it's fine. Because sometimes you need some space, you know, but if you want to be safe, so you can put BE when it touch here. But if you're okay with SL 10 pips, it's fine. Because 10 pips is just, you can get wrong 4 times. 4 times wrong for a 40 pips SL. It's more worth it. But you have to have knowledge to do it, you know. Okay, BE then. Lenovo, it will not go back up again as long as if it can break this one, it will not go back up again. It will go down. It's gonna go down, baby. So okay. Almost M30 opening. Where is it? Almost M30 opening. Looking nice, looking nice. So you just have to break this opening, guys. You just have to break that opening. Okay, can you guys put your BE a bit more? Wait. Just put a bit. Because I prefer to put the SL 10 pips away. I don't like to put BE because there might be a bounce here. But I hope there's no bounce, so it will fall straight away. Okay, you guys can put BE. Let's just put BE. For 1%, if you are okay not putting, you just put on top a little bit higher. Just put a little bit higher. Put like at M30 just open. Okay, just put BE. Put BE. Because M30 just open. I'm just worried that it might respect this buy opening, you know. So it might go up. But if it doesn't go up, it's fine. It will fall. So right now, it just have to fall lower than this opening. Then it has no problem falling. So right now, guys, okay, if you can see, if it can break this opening down here, it will fall. See. This is important because this is a new candle, M30. Even though M1 is like that, but M30 is a new candle. At this level here, if it becomes red, see, if this M30 becomes red, it will easily fall. So see, now it's still white, right? It's not, okay, see, it cannot turn red. Okay, so I am assuming everyone hit BE. Not yet. Okay. Come on, baby, let's fall. Even though if some of you might hit BE, it's fine. We just want this knowledge. I just want to share. It cannot break. Like I said, this zone is a problematic area. If it wasn't problematic, it would have been easy fall. Okay, I think it will be hitting BE. Right. Have you guys hit BE already? Okay, nice. Reach BE. Okay, nice. So we don't have to worry about anything anymore. Yeah, it's a strong buy zone here. So now it's just going to play ranging here. So this new M30, do you see? Like I said, why did I suddenly ask you to put BE? Because we know, like I said, this opening here is the red candle. So it means there's a seller here, correct? Okay, there's a seller here. This opening down here is a buyer. So there's a buyer down here. So we know that the range of buy and sell is from here and here. So this opening of M30 opens a little bit above the buyer. So when just now it wanted to turn red, it couldn't even turn red. Then that's why it's easily gonna fly up to the seller zone. But if it cannot break the seller zone, it will go back down. But for it to break back the opening of the M30, it's a bit tough because this is a strong zone to break M30 opening and to break M1 support minor here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a bit difficult. But I still believe like it has a chance to break, but it's going to take a while. So we're just going to wait and see. Oh, GU is on a buy. Let's see GU. Where is GU? Oh yeah, it is on a buy. Where's my analysis? GU. Yeah, it's on the buy now. But like I said just now, oh, it did reach our box here. Why did I label this box? I don't remember. It reached the support here. I told you guys it's gonna fall to the support, correct? It fell to the support here and then it had rejection. This is so nice. So over here, the M1 could easily fly. But even though if it fly from here, it has trouble here. So it has to break this, like just now we say. If it cannot break, you fall. So it fell. So now if it goes back up, it will have trouble here. So right now it's just gonna be a sell. Because it cannot break the blue one. If you cannot break the blue one, it's still considered a sell. So guys, I think we should end it because I don't want to drag you guys. But if you guys like this kind of talk, explanation, waiting together and testing some tests, theory, entry for fun, and then BE really fast, it's good lah. It's good for knowledge wise. Okay, then follow Jack because I'm not with Jack right now. He's out. Okay, so they are buying. Okay. So let's see why they buy. So they buy because of this strong support down here and because of this M30 down here. This new M30 candle. Wait, where is it? Okay. This new M30 candle could be an anchor point for it to fly. But usually for me to decide if it's okay to buy is just this. This is my final zone. So usually I don't want it to go lower than this zone. Because if it goes lower, it could be a sell here because this one is the opening of a sell. It's a strong one. So if it breaks this zone here, it could have a big drop easily. So that's why. But for now, it's still valid because see, red, even though this one is red, if it cannot break this, our line here, it's still stuck in this zone. So from here to here, it's easy 15 pips, right? Because Jack is aiming 15 pips. So it's almost reaching anyways. I think they give a buy here, is it? I think just now here, is it? So 15 pips, yeah. He's aiming to TP at the M30 sell zone. But let's look at H4. What is it doing? Yeah. H4 is just tough. We know that there's a lot of buyers here, but the opening is a sell here. So as long as it cannot break the opening, it cannot fly. But if it breaks the opening, it easily fly. So it depends. Okay, is there anything else you want to ask? Yes, Remy. So sometimes you don't hold too long anyways. Like just now, we entered sell, it did drop, but it couldn't break the box. And I didn't ask to BE, I didn't expect. Then it bounced. Remember? Then we cut at 10 pips. Then the next one, we did enter, it was in blue again, but it couldn't break. Then we put BE. So something like that. When are we learning advanced course? Someone asked. Probably next week, Matt told me. So I think that is it for today. I hope you guys had fun. You guys learned a lot. You guys are happy in terms of waiting and listening this class because sometimes it might get boring, right? I hope it's not boring, you know? Like I hope it's a fun class. I try to make it easy easy to understand, fun, and everything, you know? Perfect, guys. Was Fibo knowledge good? Just write it down. So everyone who didn't join, at least you know. Everyone had a great time, great class, amazing. Okay, just say what you feel. Because it was a long class. It was supposed to be 2 hours, but we extended it for 2 hours and a half. Okay. Hope you guys had fun. A lot of knowledge shared today. Can't wait for next session. Okay. Next session will be the 1 month course trading course. So it's going to be the first week is going to be multi-time frame, which is the most important one that you will need to understand. Once you understand multi-time frame, everything else becomes easy. So I hope everyone is going to join because today, the second day, not a lot of people, I would say, joined. But I hope for the 1 month course, a lot of people are going to join, because even though it was basic today, it was a bit compact, I would say, right, guys? It was a lot of stuff shared today. But today I had some problems. I did not, I got disconnected 3 times, so I don't know the video is going to be saved, the whole video, but I hope so. So Jack will compile it and yeah, upload it. And please do your assignment, guys. Remember, don't forget, I gave you the assignment, which is for you to label everyday 2 to 3 analysis using Fibo and zones, like how I taught you, and message Jack or me, or to write journals, or in the new group that can chat. Okay, Jack is being spanked by his okay, love you, Metomi. When's the next class? I think it will be next week. Next week we will start our course, the 1 month. Please, 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 please join, because the first week itself is so important. The multi-time frame is the most important thing, I would say. Okay, hope everyone had fun. Let's end the session. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for joining. Hope you had fun and knowledge. Bye, guys. Bye. See you. See you.